Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk. What's up, everybody? Big Herc Prison Talk. Happy holidays, and thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you hit the bell so that way you can get notified of all of our new videos coming out, and you don't want to miss anything, so make sure you tune in to our YouTube and also subscribe to our Instagram and our Twitter, which is FreshOutSeries, along with our Patreon. We got some cool stuff going on there. We got Rod Godbody doing some cooking stuff. Also check out our website to see the latest and greatest. We got some cool stuff on there at FreshOutSeries.com. We got consulting. We answer questions. We do a lot of stuff on there. So make sure you guys check us out. Had a question from one of our viewers. Hi, I love your channel, man. Keep up the good work. My question is, when you first get to prison, should you trust the first guy that you talk to? Respect and greetings from Albania. Nah, not necessarily. You know, the first guy you get into prison and you talk to when you actually get designated is usually what they call like the prison concierge. He informs you of who the individual is in your race that you should be, connecting with, where you sit and eat at, who you should, your bunking situation, your commissary, how that works, kind of like laces you. This individual is usually an OG who's been down, and based on what your race is, this person from your race will approach you and kind of, a lot of times give you a heads up, unless you're just a motherfucking, you come in like a know-it-all or you act like a knucklehead, then you might not get laced up like you should. But if you come in there and you kind of seem like you're decent, this person will approach you and kind of give you a rundown. This person, as far as trustworthy, I don't know about that to, whatever degree, but they're pretty informative. They kind of, like I say, give you a breakdown of what's what, and you can ask them a lot of questions and they can usually inform you of how the institutions ran. As far as who you trust, you have to use your street sense or, your hood knowledge. You gotta, if you're in the streets and you were making moves or, you were doing shit, that was, under the table on the streets, and you should have a sense of, what's what as far as when it comes to individuals. A lot of times people in prison, have an agenda when they're communicating with you. Maybe it's trying to get information. They might be trying to, pick you apart to see if they can maybe find out where you lived on the street, get at your wife or your girlfriend if they found out heard you had a hot wife or a hot chick, or if they're getting out, they might try to, just bust a move. Some motherfuckers are, trying to find out about your case so they can, tell on you to get time off and get you to tell stories about things you did and didn't get caught for. A lot of sneaky shit going on, man. You got the master manipulators up in there, and people are, they're just always active with an agenda, and it's not like on the street where people do stuff out of the kindness of their heart. These guys, it's a psychological warfare in there, mental acrobatics. So you have a lot of just really weird, different conversation, very manipulative, and guys are in there getting staff members to do shit for them. Guys are fucking staff, guys, females up in there, and or getting male staff members to bring in drugs, cell phones. So it's a lot of game going down, and staff is fucking with certain dudes they can trust, and inmates are fucking with certain staff they can trust, even though they're not supposed to be fucking with each other. And it's just a lot of shit going down. So you got to be real cautious of who you let into your circle, and trusting somebody. You got to have that sixth sense to realize this person you're fucking with is cool. You know, you open up to somebody and they can see some vulnerability, they're gonna exploit that. You tell them something you did and it could be used against you, that motherfucker will leak that shit and you can get your wig split on the yard for it. You might have said something that, you know, you thought was in confidentiality, and man, these motherfuckers have no code, a lot of them. They, you know, they'll let it out. So you got to be careful, man. Another thing is, you know, you fucking around with somebody and you don't know what they're in there for. You know, this motherfucker has you come to the cell, kick it, try to feed you, hang out, and you know, you come to find out this motherfucker's a mass murderer. You know, he got bodies and he's just a manipulator and he's just a, you know, a rapist or something. He's a piece of shit. And here you are busting a spread with him. Man, you can't, you know, you got to be careful who you fuck with. So trust is something that's earned. And even then, you know, I've seen guys that kick it, you know, and they're of the same race, but they're not part of the same gang. And motherfuckers, you know, talk and conversate and get information. And if it's something that can be used to their benefit, they will use it. I've seen gang members, you know, get shit and then turn around and because you're not part of the gang, tell another homie and basically put you in a cold twist. Now you got to get on with the motherfucker who you thought was your homie. But you're not really his homie because you're not from the same set, you know? Even if you are of the same gang, you're not from the same set. And what I mean by that, you didn't grow up on the same neighborhood. So, you know, motherfuckers will hang you out to dry. It's a lot of this dirty, low down shit. And a lot of these guys you think that are cool, that talk all this shit and you can trust them, man, they're using things you say to maybe get time off. If you talk about a crime you committed and you didn't get caught for, I've seen where motherfuckers come into visiting and this motherfucker was cool with a motherfucker on the street. And this motherfucker wore wire into visiting and to get time off for their sentence, talked my homeboy in, this white cat I used to fuck with, who was a good dude, into, you know, saying, yeah, he can plug him with his ecstasy connection and got it on tape. And then this motherfucker goes back after the visit and turns around and gets caught up in a conspiracy. Yeah, that type of shit. So this is somebody from the street you knew who comes at you trying to say, hey, if I go pick this up or do this and I send this to you, is it cool? And basically tie this person up in a conspiracy case. You know, sick shit, man. These motherfuckers, there's a lot of motherfuckers who can't do time, who are in there stressed the fuck out, and they're preying on people that they can kind of manipulate, conversate with, and try to get in cool with, and basically entertain themselves with, and get something out of. So a lot of times I see them they don't talk to anybody. The less you talk, the better. Don't tell motherfuckers your business. Don't tell motherfuckers where you grew up at, you know, where your family's from. If you get mail, rip the motherfucking addresses off. Don't leave your mail out. Don't leave your pictures out. You got motherfuckers I've seen where they go through people's photo albums and steal photos, and that's a wig split. You know, taking the motherfucker's photos of his family or his, you know, shit like that, man. You got a lot of weirdo shit. So trusting somebody, it has to be earned. You definitely don't trust the first motherfucker that walks up to you. Hopefully you go into a place where there's somebody that you were there at another institution with. They can run you down on what's what, and you hopefully have a relationship with that individual. But you just got to use a lot of fucking street sense and just a lot of just you know, just intuition, man, and realize that you are in prison with a bunch of motherfucking animals. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.